Hello everybody and welcome to this week's bonus podcast. This is Michael here.
Oh.
No surprises, I suppose. Who's this?
Gemma.
Gemma is here as well. We're both here. We're always here.
Always.
Forever.
No escape.
We've got listener questions for you this week, everybody. It's been ages since we've done listener questions. It's been months. I've kind of forgotten about that. We sometimes do those. But we have got some. We have got 2 lovely questions sent in by 2 even lovelier listeners that we're going to talk about this week. You've got Gemma, do you want to read out the first question? We just launched, and have you got anything you want to?
Nope.
We're just going to get on with the questions. Who is our first question answer giver this week?
This is from Maddie, and they want to know, with Thanksgiving coming up, which characters would you invite for a potluck Thanksgiving meal? What would they bring, and what would they say they'd be thankful for?
So demanding, Abby. That's like 3 questions in
Maddie,
one.
not Addy.
Maddie. What did I say?
He said Addy.
Addy.
Sorry, Maddie.
Maddie, sorry.
Right, so do you know what a Thanksgiving potluck is?
I do, because I have prepared some answers for this question. I don't think we need to talk about Thanksgiving and Gemma first. Happy Thanksgiving, Americans that are listening to this. If I do this properly, I'll release this episode on Thanksgiving Day. Thursday,
yes,
right?
That's right. That's right, it's Thursday.
We do like Thanksgiving in this house as well, don't we? Well, you do.
I do.
Because it gives Gemma another chance to cook. As you all know, Gemma loves to get the hob on. What's your Thanksgiving specialities, Gemma?
Oh,
if you were inviting yourself to a Coronation Street characters Thanksgiving meal.
Apart from the turkey, I always do a ham, and I have to do creamed corn, which everyone always insists on.
We always have our group of friends around, don't we? And creamed corn is always...
Everyone wants creamed corn.
As long as you do that, I don't care what else there is.
And also stuffing. Thanksgiving, Martha Stewart's classic stuffing.
Yeah, you like make it out of bread and everything,
which is
don't
actually
you?
dressing.
Not even Paxo.
No, it's not Paxo. It's made from... it's made from celery, onions, butter, sage...
What do I like
bread.
that you do for that? Do you do something nice with green beans? What do you do with your green beans?
I used to do... lemon and
that's
butter,
right.
but
That's
I'm not
very
do that
nice.
This year.
Oh my god! Okay.
I'm gonna do green bean casserole because I've never done it before. You will hate it.
Why?
It's supposed to be made with cream of mushroom soup.
What? I don't like that.
We're not making it.
I do enjoy a Thanksgiving meal. There's always loads left over, and you're slaving away at the stove for hours. And I'm always a quick eater, aren't I? And it's like
it
10
takes
minutes
me
gone.
like 3 days to make it or something, and you're like yonk yonk yonk.
Oh, are you doing nice gravy?
Yeah. What do you mean nice gravy?
Well, not just Bisto out of the packet.
What's nice gravy then?
I don't know how you make it. It's like Thanksgiving magic.
What are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I thought you made it with. I thought you said something different with gravy at Thanksgiving. Like, proper old-fashioned floury gravy, do you?
Sometimes I do.
Oh, okay. Right, this is my request for this year.
Oh, God.
And pudding-wise, what do we got? Pumpkin pie.
Mum's making key lime pie.
Key lime pie? That's unusual for us. Well, she sometimes makes gypsy tart as well, like that, doesn't she? Is that Thanksgiving, or is it just a thing that she makes sometimes? I like the chocolate cream pie that you make sometimes. Are we having that?
Oh, for God's sake. I asked everybody to give me some ideas for what they wanted, and you didn't reply.
I just thought you could read my mind or something. Oh, well, anyway, so we got that on Sunday, haven't we?
We're not Americans. We don't have to celebrate Thanksgiving on the actual day. So we normally have it whenever we fancy.
It's just an excuse to stuff our faces.
And also my friends' birthdays usually clash with it anyway. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Maddie wanted to know who we would bring, who would we invite round?
I want to say, I know people like to moan about English people or British people doing American things. I really don't care if you have an opinion on whether you should celebrate Thanksgiving and you're not an American. Honestly, just do yourself a favour and calm down about it. I've been doing Thanksgiving things for probably 20 years now, and it's nobody else's business if they don't like it.
Yeah.
Well,
so we've got a new big house now, haven't we? And we've got room to expand our guest list with people, characters from Coronation Street. We're not even talking about the actors here.
No,
we want actual fictitious people sitting around our table, bringing us food, telling us what they'd be thankful for. We didn't have. I don't know whether you've done something similar to me. I've just kind of got a random number of list of characters. I kind of went through the Corrie cast list at the moment. It's like, yeah, he can come, she can come. Yeah, no way is that person coming.
I didn't really pick my characters based on whether I would want them to come. I based it more on can I think of what they might bring for Thanksgiving.
I based it on who I would quite like to come round because I think they'd be interesting guests. How many have you got, by the way? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got 12 guests.
1, 2, 3.
We're going to need a bigger table.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I can tell you don't cook because you don't care how many people come.
No, I don't care. I'll just be the entertainment.
We bought the turkey yesterday, didn't we? It was fun.
Yes.
We got a chest freezer.
We have got a chest freezer. We'll answer your question in a minute, Maddie,
I wanted a chest freezer for so long. I've always wanted a chest freezer. We never had anywhere to put it until we've moved house. Now I've got it, and we went to Lidl yesterday, and we spent so much money. And we came back with like loads of stuff to go. Like we got turkeys, geese, ducks, all in the freezer.
Yeah.
There's hams
great.
in there.
And there's still loads of room to spare in there. You can fit a couple of dead bodies in that chest freezer.
I wanted you to go in there to see how many people I can fit, but you won't do it.
Right, okay, well, should we just take it in turns? I mean, and if we'll probably end up saying the same person, won't we, for some of them?
Maybe.
Straight, number one, I got, because I went through in the order on the website, I think, Abby is there on my guest list. I think that she'd be fun, she'd be entertaining.
I think she'd just get drunk.
Possibly. I just think that she'd offer some good repartee and you know stop the evening kind of.
I think she'd be a laugh, but there's the danger that she'd be like, oh, what are you doing all this for? Why are you bothering with all this nonsense when you could just.
No, I think that she'd like the excuse for a good old knees up.
I want plain roast dinner, please.
Well, I don't think that she would be bringing, the best food. I don't think you'd want to just have her. Because my choice for Abby to bring is some turkey Twizzlers, which I think even that is possibly a bit much.
She'd
for
bring
her.
them frozen.
Yeah.
And you'd have to cook them.
You'd have to cook them yourself.
This is a hint. If you're socially inexperienced person, you might not realise that bringing ingredients to cook something at someone else's house if they ask you to bring a dish is not
Our
appropriate.
friend Sarah does do that sometimes.
No.
So yeah, turkey Twizzlers for Abby, which they were in the news like when Jamie Oliver was doing his school lunches, weren't they? And that was all the
everyone
all the mums like Abby were feeding their children. Let's just say.
Oh, it's dreadful.
Yeah, I think that she would be thankful for getting kind of justice for Seb at the moment.
Yeah,
She's had a bit of a rough year, but Corey is behind bars now, and also, despite being a bit of a screw up, she's still married to Kevin as well. So I think she's still in the new flushes of new marriage. So she'd be grateful for a new guy.
Marriage.
Also, the fact that she has got another chance to be a mum, fourth time lucky, to Jack.
Yeah,
again.
she's going to adopt him, isn't she?
So I think that she might offer some kind of sentimental, soppy speech about that kind of thing. So she's on with it. Did you have Abby on your list? Ooh,
she
really?
I've prepared a speech about what I am thankful for, but I'm just going to tell you from the heart.
That's what they all do. Okay, you tell me one on your list.
My first one I've got is Ken.
Nice. I've got Ken on my list as well.
What have you all got that he's going to bring?
Well, I didn't know. I mean, it's obviously something veggie. I thought maybe a stuffed marrow tribute to Deirdre, but I don't know whether that was a bit obvious.
What do you mean? What do you mean obvious?
I think it would be quite nice to have a stuffed marrow in memory of Deirdre.
Thinking outside of the box for a fictional Thanksgiving for Coronation.
The problem is he'd kind of know that nobody would like it. Robert Preston made him a nice stuffed marrow one time, didn't he? But or something more traditional, like an autumnal nut roast or something. Maybe I think whatever he brought, I don't think people would be gagging to eat. To be fair, no I'd put his in the corner with Abby's. Maybe
would be quite nice because it's a nice harvest gourd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do Americans have marrows?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. They have that kind of fruit. Or vegetable, whatever it is. Maybe like a nice, what is it that you make with the cheese in? Is that as like a stuffed marrowy, squashy sort of thing? You haven't had that for a few years.
What are you talking about?
You have these little...
tiny little gem squashes.
Yeah.
And you hollow them out and put nice cheesy...
It's quite nice. You might like that. What do you think that Ken would be thankful
I think Americans would know this just as a squash.
Okay.
And it's... I think a marrow is very particular to the UK. I don't think that you really have it, but it's like it looks like a schnozcumber. It's like a long, really huge cucumber, like a zucchini kind of courgette looking thing, but it's stripy with light green stripes
I
down
think
it.
I think
It's quite a magnificent looking vegetable, but inside it's very watery and tasteless, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that Americans who listen, and Canadians, whatever, who listen and watch Coronation Street would probably know what a marrow is from Deirdre's classic recipe.
But isn't just the like stuffed marrow just got really weirdly comical overtones to it? But I don't know why.
Of course,
but why?
Oh, I'm going to give you a good stuffing, and it is very phallic looking. Yeah. What do you think Ken would be thankful for?
I think he'd be thankful that nobody's pushing down the stairs recently, and that the dramas on Coronation Street aren't really related to the Barlow clan.
Not so much.
They've been keeping their noses clean, haven't they?
They have on the whole. I think that he would be. I think he'd be quite thankful for the fact that he has been naturally gifted with more intelligence than anyone who has ever lived on the street before, and probably ever will since. So he's rather up himself, isn't he, Ken?
I think
I don't know whether he'd say that. He'd probably be thinking that.
I think he'd be grateful for his hair.
Yes. He's
got
a
really
fine crop, hasn't he?
magnificent
Speaking
head
of
of
harvest
hair.
time, yeah. I mean, I guess maybe he'd say something nice about the community as well, or he'd do it, like the 40th anniversary, Coronation Street speech.
He protested about something, whatever it was.
He protested about the tarmacking.
Yeah, and that worked, didn't it?
Yeah.
What was it they did the other Save Our Street? I can't remember.
He has plastic bags, didn't he, in front of the bulldozers.
To do with Ray, wasn't it?
I've got Imran on my list as well.
Oh, what's he bringing?
Nice meatloaf or something. I think that he probably doesn't get much chance to sink himself into a nice bit of meat very often now living with Toya. So I think he'd take any opportunity to bring a big hunk of beef cake round him. Much like look in the mirror and go, what shall I bring? Yeah, a nice beef
I'll
cake.
bring myself. I just want to say...
yeah, he'd bring some sort of snack as well, probably, wouldn't he?
Right, yeah. Some nice cheese savouries. Yeah, I don't know... Thanksgiving in America has definitely got some set things that people would expect, but it's nowhere near the kind of traditional meal like you would get for like a Christmas dinner or something in this country, where there are certain things you have to have, and people kick off if it's a lot looser. So like literally almost any dish would be acceptable.
I've tried to go with kind of autumnal.
That's what I'm saying.
Wine, yeah.
People would expect something seasonal, perhaps, or something from your culture, or something that you were very good at cooking.
Yeah,
that you would bring to a potluck.
I would quite enjoy having Imran round to see if I get him drunk like that time at the wine tasting as well.
Yes, we need more drunk Imran.
Yeah, I think thankful wise. Again, I think
Nobody's discovered his secret yet.
Well, yeah, I think he'd be thinking, I'm very pleased with the fact and very thankful for that, and that nobody's discovered I've got away with sleeping with Abby yet. But he'd probably say something soppy about Toya or Elsie or something like that, wouldn't he? I'm
so glad that every day I get the chance to prove yet again who I am to these beautiful women that I share my life with.
Did you have Imran on your list? No. Who have you got? Who's your next person?
Oh, my phone's gone off.
I can do my next one if
you
like.
No, I'll tell you.
Go on then.
Alright, just wait. I would invite Sam.
Oh, I haven't got Sam on my list actually, but he'd be quite good, wouldn't he?
I think he would bring a green bean casserole, because I think he would have looked up what is Thanksgiving stuff, and he'd have all these facts like, did you know that the green bean casserole was invented by somebody?
Oh yeah,
no,
that would be I wouldn't mind
factory.
having Sam, but I don't think I'd want to sit next to him unless he's still in his mute phase.
Yeah, I think he'd. I think he is still mute, and he'd probably just be grateful that he's got a good story for character development, and his background that's a sob story that he can use if he wants to go on a talent show later in life that his mum was shot by a gangster. He would bring a green bean casserole, and he'd make it the traditional way, because it's very simple. You just use canned green beans, and you put a canned mushroom soup on the top, and then you mix it together, and then you put fried canned onions on the top of that.
I don't see Sam as being a great cook.
No, that's what I mean. It's what do you mean? I just said you mixed together 3 canned ingredients, and you said,
that's too hard for me, I'll tell you.
That seems like an advanced culinary skills to me.
Well, you said about people researching things that were there for the first Thanksgiving, and I've also got Roy on my list of characters that I would bring, and I think he'd be like looking.
Are you trying to tell me that you think green bean casserole was there at the first Thanksgiving?
No, you said he'd be doing a bit of research into what is Thanksgiving food, and I think Roy would as well, but he would go more towards first Thanksgiving, which was like, deer, wild fowl, a bit of eel, perhaps.
Ooh, like a very traditional Cockney dish.
But apparently there was also a lot of cod and bass served. So I think something around that lines. I think thankful wise, I was saying about Nina probably. Nice to have my family back once
Yeah, but
Haley.
he was just. Well, he left all of his stuff, didn't he?
He has left all of his stuff to Nina.
Yeah.
The last thing that we've watched, anyway. But I think the fact that he was, sailing adrift a little bit before reconnecting with his brother, and now he's got a family again. So yeah.
Oh, how nice.
Did you say you had, Roy? What did you say about
I
him?
said he was going to bring pumpkin pie because he would have looked at what's traditional, and he would have brought pumpkin pie. Because he wants to celebrate it properly.
I think for comedic values, and Roy doesn't always get things quite right. Something a bit weird from the first Thanksgiving would. If I was writing an episode, that's what I'd.
Yeah, I think he'd be like, "I've brought preserved eels."
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, I think that okay.
Who else you got?
Okay, I've got Sally. Have you got Sally?
No, I didn't. I thought that she might dominate a bit much.
Okay.
I don't know whether I could do. I don't know whether I could bear to have dinner with her and listen to all her wittering on about the environment and.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, she would definitely be on her best behaviour if she came here. She'd be like, "Oh, they're doing a podcast about us. We have to be on our best behaviour because they're going to slag us off if we're not."
Would we ever?
No,
So,
we'd definitely not do that.
Is she bringing her a spicy corn cobbler or whatever?
Herbie
lamb cobbler, that's it, isn't it?
This was a story that was released in the press about 10 years ago,
at least,
12 years ago, about them getting rid of Betty's Hot Pot because Betty was going to leave at some point. And so they were trying to come up with what's the next iconic new dish that the Rovers is going to serve. And I don't really imagine that anybody ever said this in Coronation Street, but I think it was Digital Spy or somebody was like, "Oh, Sally's Herbie lamb cobbler."
I thought that there was like a competition among fans or something to say what's the next Corrie iconic dish, and that one was picked. But yeah, it's not really gone down. I did wonder that, but then also because I'm not inviting her, but I also had some my honourable mentions. And she was on there. This is feeling like a Patreon episode, isn't it? I thought that she'd maybe try something super fancy, but then in a series of comedic mishaps it'd go wrong, so she'd have to throw something together quickly, like a couple of peas and a carrot stick, and she'd call it haute cuisine.
Carefully chopped peas.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
She'd be thankful that she is once again able to meddle in local politics and try to influence people for various reasons.
Have you got Toya on your list?
Yes.
Yeah. So what veggie
Obviously,
delights is she bringing?
She's bringing her vegetable lasagna.
Can veggie lasagna be a Thanksgiving dish?
Yeah, anything can be a Thanksgiving dish. If you're like Italian Americans would definitely make lasagna for a Thanksgiving meal, and if they are if they're challenged in culinarily speaking by not being able to eat meat, then it would have to be a vegetable lasagna, wouldn't it?
I wondered that, but then I thought maybe she'd go for something a bit more terminal, like something pumpkin-y, or maybe just like a veggie tray bake or something. And we know that Georgia Taylor has been enjoying making some vegetarian tray bake dishes at the moment. We've seen from her Instagram. So maybe something along there, just a scattering of nuts or pumpkin seeds, all kind of fried up in oil and stuff. And I don't think I'd really fancy it particularly, but maybe.
Some kind of nice sage and pumpkin bake with cream.
What do you think that Toya would be thankful for?
She'd be thankful for being able to make a difference to children's lives due to her fostering.
I think she'd just be thankful for the fact that she kind of got a story for the second half of the year after being neglected for the past,
true.
I don't know how many years.
I'm just glad I'm included.
Sometimes I'm in 2 episodes in a row.
Yep.
I've got. I think for the laughs, I've invited Aggie along to our Thanksgiving.
Me too.
Have you invited Aggie? Just because it's like, what would she actually bring? What foul concoction would she put together to bring for our Thanksgiving? Potluck. What is that? What it's called?
Potluck.
And I think actually she'd probably just bring sweet potato with marshmallow, which is an actual Thanksgiving dish, but it's absolutely foul because we had, it was like our first attempt at Thanksgiving about 15, 20 years ago. You made that, and our
Yeah.
friend Katie enjoyed it, I think, but nobody else.
Everyone
really,
else thought it was horrific.
And they just don't go together, do they? I do like a nice marshmallow. I'm not particularly a fan of sweet potato, but put them together and like, no, sorry, Americans, I don't see what you get out of
Not
that
every
one.
American likes sweet potato casserole.
I
but,
know.
I also said she would make a sweet potato, but
Did you?
mine is sweet potato and Marmite casserole, because she'd say, oh, I think it needs a bit more of a savoury kick to it, and then she'd put that in. I can't imagine anything worse than a sweet potato casserole than a sweet potato casserole with Marmite mixed into it.
I don't know. I think that maybe the sweetness you'd maybe try and keep. What else? What could be a
No,
Marmite?
because it would be marshmallows and Marmite. Keep up.
Oh, marshmallows and Marmite.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was like sweet potato and Marmite.
Even that would be horrible.
I think instead of Marmite, she'd probably go cheap and just get a bag of flumps or something.
Well, I've put down that Gemma's coming, and she just bought a bag of marshmallows. She doesn't know what, she heard that Americans eat marshmallows at
She'd
Thanksgiving.
just sit there in the corner of the room,
eating
stuffing them
them,
into a
waiting,
gob. How
yeah.
many can she get in at
Yeah.
once?
She'd do that, what was it called, that hamster.
Yeah, stuff them into her pouches.
And she'd just be grateful to get out of the house. That's what I'd say she'd be thankful for.
Oh yeah, leave
Get away
Chesney
from
with
the
the
kids.
quads.
Yeah.
What did you say Aggie would be grateful for?
She's grateful that she didn't have to live in the same house as Grace anymore.
Oh yeah, I think that she'd go Soppy and family, like acceptance of James or something like that.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, and probably also thankful that we're over the hump of COVID, maybe after all the hard work that she would have gone through.
No, I think you'll find that NHS staff are still incredibly.
Well, I'm sure they are, but I mean, at least
No, we're not over anything. What are you talking about?
I've had COVID. Have we not finished with it yet?
No.
Okay. Right. Audrey Roberts is also on my
Ooh.
guest list. I don't think we could trust her to bring anything other than drinks. I think that's probably all that she lives on. I'm really curious to know, like, what does Audrey have at home? Does she eat out every night? Because we only ever see her at the bistro and
I reckon
maybe
she
speed
has
dial.
Marks and Spencer's, like, chicken dinner for one and fish pie. There's plenty of nice, delicious ready meals that you can buy, and you see loads of rich old people in Marks buying those single meals, don't they?
Well, yeah, no, you're right. I did think that maybe she'd bring drinks, or maybe she'd just like pop along to the bistro and get a takeaway or something. I don't think that Audrey
drinks.
would ever cook anything.
She'd bring champagne.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can
I
come.
guess so.
I'll definitely invite her.
Well, I think maybe she'd be thankful for something like unintentionally shallow, like maybe that Freshco's is doing a nice deal on champagne at the moment, or that she looks good in any colour, or she's got good bone structure, or something like that. And everyone else would be saying these very wholesome things that they're thankful for.
Glad that I've got good genetics.
Yeah. Although I don't know where I went wrong with you, Gail.
No, she didn't pass it down, did she?
Gail is not on my guest list, I have to
Sad
say.
times.
Did you have Audrey on your list? Did you
No.
say? Okay, give me someone else you got.
I've got Jenny.
Oh, see, I didn't have Jenny.
I've got Jenny, and I've set up an intriguing rivalry here because she's bringing hot pot.
Uh-oh.
Because, there's some already cooked, so she brought it with
Get it
her.
out the freezer.
And now Sally is got her nose put at a joint because her Herbie Lamb cobbler is now being compared to Jenny's classic Rover's hot pot. And I imagine more people will want to eat Jenny's hot pot than Sally's Herbie Lamb cobbler, because let's face it, they tried that 10 years ago and it didn't catch on. I think it'd be quite funny to have. I don't think they've ever really interacted that much, have they, Sally and Jenny?
When Jenny came back, when they were younger a little bit. When Jenny came back into it, there was a little bit of a rivalry for a bit between the two of them. Didn't Jenny drop Tim in it that he got arrested or something?
I don't know, but I really think that there's a lot of scope for Jenny versus Sally. And you can see Sally getting all like, oh, well, who's a landlady of a pub's not very good. But didn't she used to be a barmaid? I can't remember if Sally was ever a barmaid.
Maybe for a little bit. I can't remember.
But I think it would be funny to have hot pot versus cobbler.
I don't know whether I'd want to bring Jenny, because I think she'd just get drunk, and I'd get a bit uncomfortable around people that are like really drunk. So I don't know whether she'd be able to stay on her best behaviour.
No, she'd be fun. She'd get drunk on champagne that Audrey brought, and she'd just lay on the sofa. and
she'd be telling us all what she thought of us.
Yeah. She is grateful because she's just being given 20 grand.
Yes, exactly. Dev, I would bring along.
Oh, nice.
I think he would be a nice bit of entertainment for the party. I think he could he can talk the talk, he can schmooze some of the ladies there, as long as he doesn't take you away from me, darling. And I reckon that he might be able to knock up something quite tasty with the ingredients from his shop, because we've seen... I mean, he used to have Mary in as the housekeeper, didn't he? But I think he does all right with the cooking now. He made something nice for
what did he make for
Audrey the other week.
Like
I can't remember what it was.
Like a lamb or something.
Yeah, so maybe he'd like do some sort of like a curried butternut squash recipe, or something with chickpeas, from a tin of chickpeas off his shelves or something. I don't know. It'd be ingredients that he would pick up from the corner shop. I think he'd just
bring like a jar of cranberry sauce.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
No, I think I can see Dev been able to turn his hand to cooking. I think he's probably got better over these past
I
few
imagine
years.
that he's the sort of person who rarely ever cooks, but when they do, they want a load of fuss made of them, and they want everyone to gather around and adulate and appreciate all the effort that they've gone to, and they don't ever do the washing up.
Yeah,
Can you imagine him using every single pot and pan in the whole house and all the utensils and leaving them in a big pile and then saying he didn't have to do any cleaning up because he cooked?
Hardy can do it. I think if he might also bring like some snacks, like a big bag of Posh Crisps.
Oh, Posh Crisps, yeah.
The Alahan speciality.
Yeah, Speciality de la Maison Alahan.
And obviously what he'd be thankful for, I think, would be his wonderful daughter.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
Hardy.
Oh, and also my son. Oh, yeah.
Who else you got?
I've got Danny. He's a chef. I'm inviting him.
Inviting Danny? Okay, as long as he stays in the kitchen.
He is going to do the turkey, because somebody's got to make the turkey, haven't they? And I think Danny would...
Can't you make that?
No, I want Danny to bring the turkey, because it's very stressful to cook the turkey. Although, is it really stressful? Because nobody expects you to do it well. Nobody expects a turkey to be the most delicious part of the day. You've just got to cook it and hope that it doesn't, dehydrate in the oven in the 3.5 hours it takes. We've got a massive turkey this year. I'm so excited. It's like 3 kilograms.
I don't know.
6 kilograms.
Who would you sit Danny next to? Who would be the unfortunate soul of that? Maybe Sam, because he was interested in Weatherfield, wasn't he, for a bit? I know Danny's not a footballer, but he's going out with one, so maybe Sam could talk to him.
Yeah, he'd say, "Oh, how many goals?"
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he'd be grateful that he's out of the show.
Yeah, is he out now? I don't know whether he still counts as a current character or not.
I don't care. I brought him back to make my turkey for me.
Okay. Fizz, I'm bringing along.
Oh.
I think Jenny is lovely. Jenny McAlpine is lovely, and I think Fizz would be as well. I think
Fizz would be just nice.
Some of them, like Utoya and Imran and Fizz, I'm just kind of picking people from our age group a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. You want some people our age.
Yeah. No, but I reckon that she's probably used to cooking plainer food like Abby. So like maybe she could do the roast potatoes or something.
Yeah, or
but
mashed potatoes.
Equally, she has been away from Tyrone for a good 6 months now, so maybe she's branched out a little bit, and she could be a bit more experimental, like your sprouts with your bacon or something, so she can still kid herself that she's making veggies or something healthy.
Chestnuts, sprouts, and bacon.
Yeah, that's what Fizz is bringing
delicious.
for me. I think she would be thankful for Phil, for the girls, and also maybe the fact that she's got the house off of Tyrone, no questions asked.
Yeah, free lodging.
Yeah.
Very sneaky.
Anyone else you got on your list?
I've got Yasmin.
I've also got Yasmin.
What's she cooking?
I don't know if it's like a bit cliche, but I've got to think curried like Dev, or I thought maybe she could be in charge of the turkey. In mind, because
I've put Nahari because it's very traditional Pakistan. It's like their national dish in Pakistan.
Is it Thanksgiving?
It's not Thanksgiving. Well, Thanksgiving is anything. It wouldn't go with everything else.
Okay.
But I would want people to cook something that they thought that everyone would enjoy and that they that they're good at cooking.
Yeah, she has talked about Nahari before as well, hasn't she?
Well, Nahari is a very special dish in Pakistan. It's like a very special dish.
Yeah, I think that she would be thankful for the community support around Jeff, the fact that they're banding together to get her back on track again.
I've put thankful that Jeff is dead.
Yeah, and maybe that she's got her prodigal son Zidane back, who's definitely not up to anything dodgy, and he's just being lovely little grandson.
She's grateful that suddenly they've got 50 grand gone through the till.
Yeah, we've got an uptake in custom at Speed Dial recently somehow.
Percentage.
The van's doing surprisingly well recently. I think that. Oh no, I've got one more. You got anyone else left?
Yes.
Oh no, I've got two more. I got Debbie Webster. Because
Yeah,
she's
so have I.
awesome. Have you got
Yeah,
to...
love Debbie. She can come.
She can
any
stay,
day,
actually.
Yeah.
She can just come
Stay
and lodge
overnight,
with her. She's
yeah.
awesome. I think that she would also she'd bring along whatever she could get one of her chefs at the bistro to knock
I've
up.
just put a
Debbie
bunch
Webster
of-
does not cook,
No.
does she? Come on.
No, I thought she can bring whatever's left over from the bistro
Yeah, I think so.
service.
I think that if she was going to bring something from a bistro, that could, storyline wise, because now this has suddenly turned into an episode with us, and provide comedy potential, because maybe if Audrey also brings a takeaway from the bistro, the two of them end up bringing the same thing. So that's what I reckon. Well, but I also thought maybe she can cook. I don't think that she does anymore. But do you remember, like, back in the 80s when
She
it
had
was
to look
Kevin?
after.
Yeah, Kevin
She
and
probably-
Bill
she-
after
yeah,
their
but
mum died.
I don't imagine that she was cooking anything, beyond mashed potatoes and
Yeah.
lamb chops.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe.
I
it is
imagine that
just,
she probably went, you know what, I got treated like a skivvy and forced to cook for my useless brother and dad, and that after that I decided I was never going to cook again because she associates it with sort of being forced.
I think if you own a hotel and a bistro and everything, you might as well just get somebody to do it for you.
Thing is, I was looking at the cast list and I was just thinking, all right, okay, who would I want to invite because they're good at cooking? And I was going through nobody here. There's nobody, all the characters
suppose it'll have to
that
be
either
Danny.
never mention that they can cook or they're terrible at it.
You're not
There's
not got Zidane on your list, though.
Zidane and Danny are the only characters that ever can make nice food are characters who are actually chefs, and they're always men.
Yeah.
I mean, Yasmin's shown cooking
Betty, come on.
in the kitchen. She's not in it anymore.
No,
I
not
don't know
at
if
the
you've
moment.
noticed. But
Your photos
Yasmin cooks because she owns the business and stuff, and she's a good chef. And I think she's the only person I can think of who.
Well, I mean, Toya, she makes a mean veggie lasagna.
Nobody says, "Oh, I love your vegetable lasagna." they just the
Imran
writers
does
just
when
go.
he wants a bit of nookie, probably.
The writers just say, "Oh, look, she's cooking vegetable lasagna again. Isn't that funny?"
What do you reckon that Debbie would be thankful for?
She'd just be thankful that she's rich and she's got great sense of fashion.
Yeah, her amazing earring collection.
Yeah.
I think that she'd be quite thankful for the fact that she's able to come back to the show after 30 plus years of not being in it anymore. Also, maybe the fact that the community has forgiven her after siding with Ray earlier in the year, maybe.
Yeah.
And she's managed to somehow get away with it because she was a villain 12 months ago, and now everybody thinks she's awesome.
I don't think everyone thinks she's awesome. I
Okay,
think
we do.
Yeah. We're the main ones.
My last one is Dr. Gaddis. She doesn't get invited to things very much,
know.
does she? She's not really one of the Corrie gang, so I thought I'd try and
Invite her.
integrate her more, see if I can pair her off with somebody.
In case somebody has
Gaddis and Dev,
anaphylactic
maybe.
shock.
Oh yeah, from Toya's nut roast.
Or-
Oh, no, Ken's brought the nut roast, hasn't he? What were you gonna say? So I think I don't think she'd bring anything too flashy, but I don't know, maybe something mumsy like a nice chocolate tart or something, and a bit of gold leaf on the top for a bit of flair
I
to
think
show I'm a rich
she'd-
doctor still.
I think she'd bring something from Waitrose, like some kind of Heston,
Oh yeah, she totally.
Like
she
Heston
didn't
prawn
shop at
cocktail.
Fresco's, so she got to Gaddis. No.
or like a Fortnum's
Yeah.
potted Stilton.
I think that what she would be thankful for is the fact that she's been able to avoid all of the personal dramas that everyone else who lives or works on the street seems to find themselves caught up in every day of their lives.
She just observes them and she's like, I don't want to ever get involved.
And
She
treats
probably
them
wouldn't
when it
even
turns
come.
into a medical emergency.
She'd be like, there's no way, you're trying to get me embroiled in some kind of scandal or something. I'm not coming.
It's the first time in ages that the doctor of the street hasn't got involved in other people's stories, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I know we didn't have Matt Carter didn't do a whole lot, or Matt Ramsden, but they had a few stories, and Dr. Ali as well. But Gaddis is just like, no, I'm
No,
just
keeping
the
out of
doctor.
it. Yep. Don't try to tell me.
Well, I'd invite her anyway, whether or not she'd come or not. That is to be seen.
Well, she'd get brownie points for inviting her, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So you've got quite a lot of people in the house, Michael. Are you going to be able to keep up with all this washing up?
That's alright, because we've got a dishwasher in the new house, haven't we?
I think that I don't think that dishwasher could keep up with 20 plus.
I just put Danny on it. He could cook the turkey, maybe have a couple of bites, and then we'd send him into the kitchen to do the washing up, to be
Hey,
honest.
Danny, you're boring. Why don't you go and do the washing up?
Take Sam with you, maybe.
Yeah, Sam
You
can
can do the
regale you
drying.
with facts about how much water you're saving by using a dishwasher versus doing it by hand.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
what the average domestic water uses per household.
Well, thank you very much, Maddie, for that question. That kept us talking for half an hour, so didn't it?
Are we inviting
Maddie can come
our
on
actual
as well.
friends and family to this Thanksgiving meal? And
No.
can you imagine what my parents would make of the vast majority of Coronation Street characters in our house?
They wouldn't recognise most of them, to be honest, would they?
No,
Be
they
fair, they might
probably
know who
wouldn't
Audrey
recognise
was.
them. My mum would be
You
very
can.
nice, and my dad would just be watching everybody like, I literally can't believe these weirdos.
He'd be in the kitchen making sure that they loaded the dishwasher properly, wouldn't
Yeah,
he?
he
That's
would.
what he's
He
like.
would.
Such
He'd
a
be like,
terrifying
he'd be
little dad
watching
sometimes.
Danny look like a hawk.
Yeah, I did actually. I put down a couple of characters who I wouldn't invite, and I said Jenny as well. I wouldn't invite, and Sally, because I think that she would try and take over a little bit. I definitely not invite Maria to this because I think she'd just be banging on about the environment too much, and although it is very
Do
important.
you know how much CO2 it takes to make this food?
Yeah.
For every piece of food you cook that you don't eat is wasting 5 gallons of water.
And I think she'd probably bring something, if I were to invite her, she'd probably bring something that was made with local produce or, low carbon footprint sort of thing. But she'd happily tuck into everything that anyone else brought anyway.
She'd say, oh, I bought this because it's got a low carbon footprint because it's from a local shop. And you'd say, where is it from, Maria? And she'd say, it's from the co-op. It's only up the road. And it would be like, chocolate or something that's been flown from exotic country, or bananas.
Yeah. Neither of us had Nina on the list. Did you consider bringing Nina along?
I literally didn't. I googled current Coronation Street cast, and I just looked at that, and it was not very up to date because it had Norris in there.
Oh.
So.
Nina would be nice, but I don't know whether she likes parties. I don't
think she likes parties, and I don't
Maybe
think
she
she
can sit
likes
with me though,
food.
because I don't like parties. No, well, she's a veggie as well, isn't she?
Is she?
Oh yeah, she's definitely a veggie.
I know that she likes vegetarian food. It doesn't mean you're a vegetarian.
No, I think she is. Right, okay, should we move on to our next question, Gemma?
Yes.
And this one is from Sue, who would like to know, and this one is just for me, so I had to pick this one. Well, no, it's right in my my street.
Yes.
I mean, so Jodie Whittaker has already filmed her last episodes of Doctor Who. I think they're going to be broadcast next year. If you could pick any ex-Corrie cast member to be her replacement, who would it be?
Who would it be? So this is about
That's a who,
actors, isn't it? This is about
Yeah, we're looking
real-life
at actors because Doctor Who they've had 13 of them now, have they? And whenever the one of the incumbent Doctor wants to move on, then they regenerate and they have a different actor. So over the past few years, since it came back in 2005, we've had Christopher Eccleston, another Northerner. We've had Matt Smith. We've had David Tennant. And Peter Capaldi, and now we have got Jodie Whittaker, and she's in her only got a couple of episodes left, but there's going to be a grand finale with her next year that's going to be tied into the BBC centenary or something like that.
Wow.
And then finally we can be rid of her. I mean, we can wave goodbye
That's so
to her.
rude.
I don't want this to turn into a massive rant about how much I hate Jodie Whittaker being Doctor Who, but I'm just going to mention it now. She's my least favourite Doctor. And I think that I'm not really a fan of Doctor Who anymore since she and Chris Chibnall have come into the programme.
You're so
Russell T
sexist.
Davies is back in charge of Doctor Who as of next year, I think. So the only way's up, I would say.
It's because you're a sexist.
It's not, because on my list of potential new Doctor Who's of Corrie cast, I have got plenty of women there. I just think that Jodie Whittaker is not that great. She's a fine actress, but I think that she comes across as a bit of a bumbling idiot who doesn't know what's going on. She's trying to be cool, saying fam all the time. She doesn't have that commanding presence, or she doesn't appear that she's the most intelligent person in the room, which she absolutely always should if she's the Doctor. I just think she's utter miscast, but it's not necessarily just her fault. It's this new producer that we've got that just doesn't. Oh man, I didn't want to turn into an anti-Jodie.
Can I suggest that
rant,
maybe it could be that you have maybe outgrown the famed children's television program?
It's for everybody. It's for big kids as well, Gemma. So, what sort of thing do you think? What sort of qualities does an actor need to have to be able to be the Doctor?
They need to be eccentric in some manner, don't they? They need to have a big charisma and big presence. They need to be. I sometimes think that they need to be an unexpected choice. I think that I don't think that there's ever been a time in recent memory where they've cast somebody as Doctor Who and everyone went, oh yeah, I knew that would be them. You know what I mean?
They do
it's
like
always
to surprise you
like,
sometimes.
what? Who's that? Or what? I can't believe that they've got that person to do it. So it needs to be somebody who is got a good sense of humour, I think.
Yeah.
And it needs to be someone who is prepared to have no life for the next 5 years. And
I don't know how much of the year gets taken up with Doctor Who.
To be completely ground into the dirt by social media.
Yeah, they've got to be quite resilient, haven't they?
Yeah, they really do.
I mean, to be fair, coming off of a soap, I think they're used to working quite hard a lot of the year, these actors. So I think they managed that.
Also, you have to want to go to conventions.
Oh yeah, that's true, haven't you?
You have to like go right. I'm gonna looking at my future as an actor and how am I gonna make money when I'm not on screen anymore? What can I do? I know I'll go to sci-fi conventions and sell my signature for £15.
Yeah.
Go, how can I finagle this? Well,
although I think Christopher Eccleston really doesn't do that. He's really distanced himself from Doctor Who as far as
he was the first one, wasn't he? The first to come back.
Yeah,
and I don't think he really knew what he was in for when he accepted the role, which is a shame because he was pretty good, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah,
and I think a lot of them have to have a dark streak, like something that they can switch in them where they go from like jovial and fun loving to like I've committed a massacre against my own people.
They have all been brilliant at that.
Apart from Jodie Whittaker, I don't think she's got that dark. I don't think she hasn't. Has that spirit of malice and danger.
And also, I don't think that she can do comedy as well as all the others as well. Like the person who came before her, Peter Capaldi, what an amazing thespian he is.
He's a blooming legend anyway, and he was in the thick of it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's been a comedic actor who's played the straight man in comedies.
He has got the gravitas.
Yes,
I think gravitas is a good word.
Very
actually
important.
for and I'm not. Jodie Whittaker doesn't.
I don't know why you need to keep. Being
I know.
mean,
I can't help it.
because
I'm thinking
we know
of
that she listens and she's a big.
Oh
fan
yeah,
of
she's a big fan of
podcast.
conversation, isn't she, Jodie?
Yeah.
I think that's really, really important. You've
Can I
got to
go
be
on
able
the
to do the
record?
humour, but you've got to be absolutely serious, and you've got to be able to like. You got to be able to stand there up on the hill and say, I'm the doctor, you'll bugger off back to where you came from.
Yeah.
And stop attacking Earth, please.
And I want to go on record to say
If I
that
could
I think Jodie Whittaker's fine.
Yeah, you don't mind her, do you? I just don't.
I'm just disappointed that they didn't do anything with the fact that she is now a woman. The character is now a woman, and they had maybe one episode where she was treated differently, like that episode where they went back in time and they wouldn't believe that she wasn't in charge. Can I just say something else as well?
Go on then.
If you want to talk about people that really should not have been cast and what the hell are they doing in the show, and my God, every scene they ruin it. Can we just talk about John Bishop and how he cannot act?
Honestly, I don't mind him.
He looks slightly stunned in every scene that he's in, and he doesn't seem to know what. I'm sorry, but he's the worst.
Okay.
I literally, when he started in the new series, didn't he? I literally walked out of the room and left. I couldn't watch anymore, and you paused it, and I came back like half an hour later, and you were waiting for me, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Oh, well, you want to watch it?"
I don't
can't stand him.
But I'm a sucker for a Scouse accent.
I don't have an opinion on John Bishop as a person, or what is he, a presenter? I don't even know who he is.
No.
But he's
Celebrity
terrible.
TV man.
He's terrible.
I don't think he is. I think he's fine.
It's clear to me that he's terrible.
So who are we going to have as from our ex-Coronation Street cast? Because eventually one of these days there's got to be an ex-Corrie person, surely, playing the next Doctor Who. That's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think should we kind of run down the obvious picks first of the ex-Coronation Street cast who have done pretty well for themselves since leaving the show, like your Sarah Lancashires, your Suranne Joneses, your Catherine Kellys. Do you think
all
any
of
of
those people would be really good? I reckon, because what's her Suranne Jones was in Doctor Who. She was the TARDIS.
She did play the human embodiment of the TARDIS in one episode.
So
that could work.
Really
actually.
Good.
She was brilliant in that episode, and we're
really
just watching
clever.
Suranne, or we're watching a lot of Karen in the early 2000s, Corrie, aren't we? I don't know whether she could be commanding enough. I don't know. I mean, I've not seen her in anything else other than Coronation Street. I know she's done a few other things that she's done very well in, actually. But I don't know. Saran. Yeah.
She's most famously in Dr. Foster. Which
She was in that. That was quite good,
really
actually.
good.
She was good in that.
I think Saran Jones and who's the other one I'm thinking?
Sarah Lancashire.
No,
Catherine Kelly.
See, Catherine Kelly, I think could be.
I think that she could. I think she'd be a very good pick.
Sarah Lancashire, I don't think. See, I think the thing about Sarah Lancashire's performances is that they're always quite. When she does comedy, she's the straight man. You laugh at her character, you don't laugh with her character, and the Doctor is always in on the joke.
Mm.
And I think that, if you think about her as Raquel or something, that was a very unaware character, and I just can't see her playing like a nod and a wink kind of a character.
I don't.
But she's bloody amazing. She's like.
She's brilliant. I don't see her being like sprightly and flicking about all over the place and getting all excited about seeing these amazing alien worlds and everything. But I think Catherine Kelly could do that because she could certainly be kooky enough, couldn't she?
If you think about how she played Becky, she's got the energy and
you need the energy. she's still
I think Sarah Lancashire could play the Master.
Yeah, possibly.
Like a very cool kind of collected, assured presence rather than a...
Sarah Lancashire has been in Doctor Who as well, hasn't she? She was that it was in the beginning of the series 4 when it was these little fat monsters that were going around,
The adipose things.
I've forgotten that. Well done.
That's cool.
Yeah. That would stop you from being the Doctor, because Peter Capaldi, the previous Doctor, he had been in the show as another character before, hadn't he? Yeah, he was in the Pompeii episode. So I think out of those main three, I'd go for Catherine Kelly, who has also been in the Doctor Who spin-off Class, hasn't she?
She was great in that.
She was awesome in that. I'd actually quite love her to be that. What about somebody like Julie Hesmondhalgh? Awesome actress. She it was her lifelong dream to be in Doctor Who, and she was in a bit of a naff episode with it a few years ago.
I really like her. I don't think she could be.
I think she's got the likeable quality that the Doctor needs to have. She could be a
fantastic companion.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her in anything where I feel as though she exuded any kind of authority, I think the Doctor has to be the sort of person who can suddenly turn on you and tell you to jump out of the TARDIS and kill yourself, and you would do it because you're so scared.
Yeah, okay. What about I'm again looking at the obvious picks. What about Jo Froggatt? Maybe done well for herself in Downton, hasn't she?
See, to me, she is a very similar person to Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah, I think that wouldn't be enough difference between them.
They're blonde northern actresses who have got a similar aura.
Yeah, maybe she doesn't quite have the presence.
Again, all of these actors are amazing and in the roles that they've been in, but I just can't see them being in Doctor Who as the Doctor. How about Nigel Havers?
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh please, he'd be awesome.
Wouldn't he be
Imagine
great?
that. I hadn't even thought of him.
He wouldn't be a doctor like any other Doctor either, would he?
No.
There's never been a gentleman.
No,
suave.
Totally suave. I mean, I don't know about were any of the older ones gentlemanly at all? Was a
charmer.
Yeah, not maybe in exactly the same way. No, I mean, he'd also make a brilliant Master, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he'd be better.
And I think he would still have the energy for it. And
I think the Master's a far more interesting character than the Doctor a lot of the time.
I don't know whether he'd be compared to Peter Capaldi a bit.
He would
a bit too much, but I wouldn't mind seeing that. What about Anne Reid going proper old school?
I was thinking about Anne Reid. She's a bit too old, I think.
Oh, she's been. I think she was a baddie in an episode, wasn't she?
She's been in
years
Doctor
ago.
Who.
Yeah, she's an awesome actress. Maybe not quite. I think she's a bit too grandma-y.
Yeah, she's too nice.
Yeah, okay. I mean, my pick that I would absolutely adore, and I think that he would absolutely smash the role is Conor McIntyre.
Oh.
I think like if I could pick anyone, it would have to be him. He's completely got the gravitas. He's got that commanding presence. He can do the humour. I mean, the fact that when he played Phelan, he had so many facets to him, didn't he? And he was funny one minute and he was terrifying the next. And I think the Doctor absolutely needs that. He can be in control. He can be. I think he could show empathy really well. He could show that he's old and wise. Lots of fun. Still got it. I think that he would be fantastic. I'd love to see him not playing a villain.
I've not seen him play someone who isn't a villain, so I'd be.
We've not seen him in anything else particularly. It was in the Ackley Bridge episode that we saw a little bit of him of. I've seen
him play an ugly sister. So
I would adore for Conor McIntyre to be the next Doctor. Somebody like, I tell you what, if we're looking at like sprightly kooky characters, Hayley Tamaddon might be able to give it a bit of a shot.
She'd be too pantomimey, I think.
Do you reckon?
She'd be like slap, she'd be like slap my
thighs. It's a Dalek.
I think she would be really good fun. But again, she feels like a companion.
Yeah, maybe.
I've put down Les Dennis.
Oh, Lady New. Maybe.
I'd love to see him have a go at it.
Bit of a gentle Doctor.
Yeah, and you can just imagine, like, he would be the sort of person, he always seems like, to me, there's an element of sadness in his performances, and I think that if you're going to talk about a sort of an immortal, quasi-immortal...
Last of your species.
Yeah, someone who's murdered countless people and is responsible for trying to stop human beings from killing ourselves or being killed by someone else. Like, I think you would be sad all the time because you're basically alone, aren't you? You're alone. You kind of... You pick up these people to keep you sane, but they come and go so quickly.
I think the problem with Les Dennis is that he would get. I don't think people would accept it. I mean,
People
the
get
amount
so
of flack
mad.
that they gave him trying to act on Coronation Street, and when we loved him and his character Michael, didn't we? But I think that he would. That's a very big shoes to step into.
Well,
and,
I mean,
I
it's
wouldn't.
big shoes for anyone to step into.
I wouldn't. I've forgotten what the phrase. I wouldn't fancy doing that if I was him. I don't know. Who else have we got on my list?
How about Craig Charles? Is that cheating?
Maybe.
Craig Charles would be a great Doctor.
He's a sci-fi Alan, isn't he? He's travelled the stars before.
Yeah, he knows how to work a spaceship.
And I would say that his acting talents have improved for sure in the last 10-15 years. I don't think 20 years ago he'd be quite up to the job, but he has got better. I don't know how well he can do this. He'd be able to do the serious stuff. He's been okay. Maybe him. Who else have we got? Bradley Walsh. He has been a companion before, hasn't he? So, maybe that's a bit too much. But again, we're enjoying him immensely on the old 2000s episodes at the moment.
What about Shane Ward?
Nah, I don't reckon
that
so.
He can't act.
No, I'm not saying anything. I think he needs maybe a few more years of flexing his acting muscles before he could take it on, shall we say?
What about Jimmy Mystery?
No.
Why?
I just don't think he was that exciting. I don't think he was very interesting a character. I don't know, do you?
Oh, he hasn't been given a role like the Doctor before, but he might be able to pull it off.
Connie Hyde?
Yes.
She'd be quite good.
She'd be interesting,
I mean, the fact that she played the bipolar Gina Seddon, she could definitely do the comedy and the serious stuff as well. Again, I don't know whether people would accept her quite so much, because she wasn't the most popular actress on Coronation Street as much as we loved her, but she could be quite fun. Philip Lowry, I don't know whether he might be given up the old acting game now since having his urn smashed on Coronation Street. I think Mark Bayliss could give it a good shot, who played Rob Donovan. I think he was one of these ones that people say if only he hadn't been turned into a murderer on Coronation Street, he could still be a great asset to the show right now. He might be okay.
What about Charlie Lawson? He'd be great, wouldn't he? He's the sort of doctor who you can imagine at one point in the episode just going, "What, you want to invade the Earth and kill all the humans? Fine, just do it then. They deserve it."
Yeah, but tell me this and tell me no more. How you think you're gonna get past me then, hey?
I'd be scared. I'd be terrified of.
Yeah.
He's the only person I can think of to play the Doctor that I can actually see the Daleks running away from.
Yeah, I think you're right. But
It wouldn't be fair on the Daleks.
I don't know. What do you reckon, Charlie Lawson at a convention?
Can you imagine him telling all the nerds to get lost and go get girlfriends?
What do you mean I'm not your favourite Doctor? Get away with you.
You'd be like, what are you doing? Wasting your life on photos of people who were in a show 20 years ago, you sad loser.
Yeah, maybe.
He would be on the papers all the time slagging off Doctor Who nerds, wouldn't he? He'd always be putting his foot in, telling them that I think it'd be fantastic. I just want it to happen.
I think he could be quite fun to watch, but yeah, maybe.
Adam Rickett.
What? No.
Do you remember when Matt Smith was cast and all the girls were like, "Oh, I fancy him"?
Oh yeah.
At least they'd have a reason
Fanciable
to fancy
Doctor. Yeah.
Adam Rickett.
I don't think that's the best, the most important quality, but it's definitely helped the show keep going, didn't it, during Matt Smith's tenure? Again, I've got another one here who hasn't. I think he doesn't act anymore, but John Savardant. I don't know what he's up to at the moment. He's a bit old, isn't he? Although old Fred Elliott. But he's certainly got the acting chops to pull it off. Should he wants to, I suppose.
Should he so wish. How about this? Harry Vizinoni.
Nah.
He'd be a nice young pretty boy, wouldn't he? Let's get him in for the girls.
I want the next Doctor to go a bit older, I think. I think Connor is my pick. Connor or Catherine Kelly, maybe.
Who played Robert Preston?
Tristan.
Oh, Tristan Jamil. No?
I think I'd just be reminded about how boring Robert was and it'd put me off.
It's not fair because a lot of these actors didn't really get a chance to show off how good they are in the roles that...
I know. I do. I mean, I haven't got any proper suggestions left. I mean, yeah. Oh no, Gray O'Brien, who played Tony Gordon.
Yeah.
He might be quite good. But yeah, I reckon Connor's my number one
I'm
pick.
going to go for Nigel Havers because...
that is a good one.
I really want somebody south of London to have a go at being the Doctor.
You have had quite a few Northern Doctors recently.
They're really... Like, everybody in Doctor Who at the moment, I think, is Northern, which is fine, but it's... Can we not have anyone with a different accent on TV?
So many Northerners on TV. God, we have had we've had Southern Doctors, including the famously Southern David Tennant playing our Londoner Doctor there.
Who?
David Tennant. I know he's Scottish, really.
Yes, he's Scottish.
But he was putting on a London accent, wasn't he?
I said south of London.
Oh, okay, all right.
London, to me, is not the south. I know that it's in the south, but there's a whole world of
pasties and
people
scones below
and
it.
clotted cream and cider that isn't London. London is an international city full of people from all across the country and the world.
Okay. I have got some final picks, and these may be cheats, but Joanna Lumley.
Oh my God.
She's in Coronation Street, it counts. She was in it for a few episodes.
Dr. Lumley.
Dr. Lummers.
Yeah. It's me, the Doctor.
She'd be fantastic.
Oh, darling, put down that weapon of mass destruction, won't you? It's just dreadfully boring.
Ian McKellen as well.
Oh my God, why isn't he the Doctor? I couldn't afford him.
No, and as well Patrick Stewart as well. He's been a fireman in an episode of Coronation Street once, so why not count him as an ex-Corrie cast member? I think, but all three of those would be quite good. But yeah, I don't think they're most well known for the Coronation Street.
They need to have another woman because I feel as though people confuse their criticism with Jodie Whittaker with the criticism of a female Doctor in general, and I don't think that's fair.
No, I've got no problem with having a woman.
And it's really
Doctor.
not, honestly.
I don't know whether I want the next one to necessarily be a woman.
I do, out of principle, to shut everyone up. To shut up all the people that are going, and they're just being politically correct. Wow, they ruined my programme.
Well, if it's got to be that, then I'm going to go Catherine Kelly, I think.
I don't care who it is. It's got to be a woman, and
Or Joanna Lumley.
Joanna Lumley is a woman.
Yes. No, I'm just saying, Catherine Kelly or Joanna Lumley are my ex-Coronation Street picks.
And I think it's really nice that we were able, because Jodie Whittaker, we were able to talk about who would be the next Doctor and include all these women without going, now imagine if they were going to let the Doctor be a woman.
Well, there we go. So we've answered your question. I hope that gave you a couple of ideas, and everyone else as well. If you're a Doctor Who fan and you think that any other ex-Coronation Street cast members could do the job better than anyone that we've suggested, write in and tell us who. It really
could be somebody who we didn't even think of, who's been in the show before, who could just smash it, because it's really a very unique role, and each Doctor is different from the previous ones.
Yeah, and you know, you get some actors who play, you know, blah characters or unmemorable characters in Coronation Street, and then they go on and do something else, and that's absolutely the right role for them. So,
who played Graham Proctor?
Graham Proctor, Craig Gazy.
That's it. He'd be quite fun.
He'd be
a good companion, though. I think you can kind of divide a lot of the people that we've spoken about as Doctors, companions, or masters. And I think companions and masters are much easier to cast.
Yeah.
It must be a nightmare to cast Doctor Who.
Yeah, I know. So it's like juggling, you know, who do we want and who can we afford?
Yeah, and shall we get somebody unknown again?
Yeah. I mean, they knocked out of the park with they struck gold with Matt Smith.
They really did. I remember watching when he when it was an announcement, and he was like, "Oh, not even my flatmate knows that I'm." How about George Banks?
Yeah,
he'd be great.
I think.
Why didn't we think of that before?
I think he'd be compared to Matt Smith a little bit too much.
Oh, I don't care though. I think he'd be brilliant. Oh, how fun would that be? That would be so. He'd never speak to us again. He'd be too busy.
He would. He can introduce us to a Dalek or something. Or a Cyberman.
Yeah, we could go to the set.
Yeah.
Oh yes, George Banks. Oh yes, brilliant.
Maybe.
Brilliant.
Maybe.
Okay, I've done it.
Right, we have answered your questions.
I need a finder's fee for that, please.
Everyone else, send us your questions. We will do another one at some point. I'm not going to say it's going to be before New Year, but 2022 questions, send them in, and we'll do our best to answer them in a long-winded way.
Yeah.
Just like today, we managed to get 2 questions, stretch out for over an hour.
An hour of waffling.
Yeah, I just don't want to go and tidy up the house, which is our next job on the list, unfortunately. So thank you for listening, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to our American listeners. Hope you have lots of good times and
it's the beginning of the holiday season.
And no sweet potatoes and marshmallows.
Please tell me what you've cooked. Please send me a picture on social media of your Thanksgiving
every year
food.
We want your Thanksgiving pictures. Gemma does.
I will rate them at 10. No, not really.
Send us some in the post for us to try.
Yeah. Yes.
And we'll heat it up. Are you gonna post any Thanksgiving pictures on your Instagram, on your personal?
Depends on whether I burn a turkey or not.
Sure, it'll be fine.
I'm really excited about cooking green bean casserole. I really want to know what everyone thinks of it.
Yeah, if you're a Coronation Street character and you're listening to this, not an actor, but if you're a character, then you're very welcome to come along and
bring a dish,
whatever for your potluck. Yeah, right. I think it's time that we finish. So thank you for listening, everybody. Email us at conversationsstreet@gmail.com if you've got anything to say, even if it's shut up and stop making the episode so long.
No.
And we'll be back at the weekend with our thoughts on this week's Coronation Street. But until then, goodbye from me.
Bye.
And goodbye for Abby, who you might have heard purring away in there, but I don't know where she is now. Ta-ra, goodbye, see you.
That's it.